This is the Angels Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Los Angeles Angels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello, Halo Nation. Hello, Halo hopefuls, and welcome back to the latest edition and another victory edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast, coming at you live, as always, after every single Angels game right here on the Locked On Angels YouTube channel, and after the fact, both on the channel and wherever you get the Locked On Angels audio podcast feed. If you don't know who I am, what's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credential journalist in the LA area, now in year 2 with the Locked On Podcast Network, where it is your team every day. Our team is the Angels, but boy, I'm starting to not recognize this team. Another win, another series win. 3 series wins. They're 6-3 now after a 6-2 win at the Big A over the Guardians once again. And once again, it's the home run ball. Where was this? I mean, we did see this at times last season. There was games where they'd score 2 runs all game, and it would be on 2 solo shots. Obviously, we have a guy in Mike Trout who's known for hitting quite a few solo home runs in his career, but what in the world? 7 home runs combined the last 2 games. We will certainly jump into that. We'll talk about a dang near perfect performance from the bullpen on this Sunday afternoon to turn a relatively close game early on into another stress-free victory, just like yesterday. Absolutely love that. And yes, we have to give some credit to Ron Washington before answering the big question of today's show, which is, can we actually officially say this is a good baseball team? We might just do it. I know we're 9 games in, but we might just do it. Before we jump into this one, as always, shout out to everybody in here. We're creeping at that 100 number, as always. Really appreciate it. And boy, the vibes are absolutely crazy in the chat. Gilbert says, this is the lineup that will take us to the postseason. Wally says, we are winning the World Series, baby. Love to see some of the regulars in here. Antonius, Dave, Vicky, TFL, Miguel, Steve, Jeff, as always. Shout out to you and everyone else. I appreciate all you. Hit that like button, of course. And let's jump right into this one. Let's talk about our favorite segment, the turning point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Yeah, I think you have to jump right into this one in the bottom of the second inning. A second straight game where the Angels give up a run in the top of the first. And, yesterday it was an immediate response in the bottom of the first with 2 home runs from Luis Rengifo and Jorge Soler. This time it's not until the bottom of the second, but still, not only do the Angels respond with the solo shot from Logan O'Hoppe, but they add another run as well. And again, so many differences between this team and last year's team. You would see the occasional solo home run to tie a game or something like that. But then you'd see some complacency, not this year so far. O'Hoppe does go deep here. He's already got 5 home runs. It feels like it's been kind of quiet for him. But just like that, he's got, I think, 4 straight games with a home run? That's right, 4 straight games with a home run. So everyone was talking about Trout and his 3 straight, but O'Hoppe has 4. He suddenly has 5 home runs on the season already, and he goes absolutely bonkers on this 105.6 exit velo, 391 feet on a 2-2 slider that was hung right down the middle. Ortiz came into this one with a 13.5 ERA, and he was actually pretty good in this one despite the home run from O'Hoppe, but that was obviously an awful pitch. The good news for the Angels is it continued because guess who? Our boy Kyren Paris gets on base, as he seems to do every at-bat at this point. He gets on base via a 1-out single, and then he steals second because he just does everything. Jo Adell pops out, but then a 2-out RBI single from Tim Anderson. He hits a liner to left field, and Steven Kwan is not able to make a good play at all. In fact, there's a throwing error that advances Anderson to second. Weren't able to cash in on that, but still, Kyren Paris gets on after there's already a home run in the inning, and that's the repetitive nature of this team compared to seasons past of hitting 1 home run and calling it quits for the inning. This team seems to keep it going despite some success. Cruz, like we said, he came in with a 13.5 ERA. You were kind of hoping to see more than just that 2-run second inning, but we didn't. In fact, the Angels give up another run in the top of the 4th. It's all square at 2, and you're thinking, wait a second, this was supposed to be Tyler Anderson having the advantage over Cruz, and yet suddenly it's 2-2 going deep into this one into the bottom of the 6th inning. But fortunately, just like last game where it was the 7-run bottom of the 5th, This time it's the 6th inning where the Angels catch some fire once again. And once again, it's Jorge Soler. He absolutely pummeled this ball. Another hanging slider from Ortiz, just like the one that Logan O'Hoppe hit. And Soler did just as well, if not better. 112.7 exit velo. My goodness, on a 1-1 slider. And just like that, the Angels go up 3-2. They didn't score in that inning, but they keep things going the following inning. Cade Smith comes in for Ortiz, and the Angels always seem to turn it on when a bullpen guy comes in. If they're struggling a little bit with the starter, the second a change is made, even last year's team, the second a starter gets through 6 innings and overperforms what he was supposed to do, the second they go to the bullpen is when the Angels seem to find some success. Maybe they're not the best at adjusting, and that's going to be their biggest thing they need to improve on the remainder of this season and into the future, is being able to adjust when the starting pitcher is having success against them. But they always seem to do well against opposing relievers, and they got some help in this one. Let's be honest. Bottom of the 7th inning starts with a hit by pitch on Joe Adell. Cade Smith comes in and literally on the first pitch throws a fastball right at his back. And that was foreshadowing for what was going to be a very rough inning for Cade Smith and the Guardians. Very next batter is an error. Tim Anderson able to reach on the error from Brian Rocchio. This is the Guardians team that typically is good at playing small ball and not making mistakes in the infield. They didn't do either in 2 out of the 3 games this series. So you have a hit by a pitch and an error. So it's 1st and 2nd with nobody out, despite not earning it at all. Fortunately, they earned it from there. Taylor Ward rips a line drive single in the left field on another hanging pitch, a 2-2 splitter. And then with the bases juiced, Rengifo goes with the sac fly. Cade Smith intentionally walks Trout. And then Soler continues to have a big game in this one with a sac fly as well. So obviously love to see that. You have a comfortable lead now at 5-2. But wait, our boy had one more thing to say in this one. And yep, maybe there were some surprises here. Maybe this will be surprising. Maybe it won't be shocking at all. But the player of the game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
It's still our boy Kyren Paris. I mean, come on. He goes deep in the bottom of the 8th inning, absolutely crushed it to center field. I mean, there was no doubt. And something about that swing, it's still, pretty compact, and obviously he's a compact guy. But for him to go deep like that, 434 feet, absolutely crushed a fastball on 1-2. Not a good pitch at all. A 1-2 fastball, basically right down the middle. And he made sure to take advantage of it. An absolute bomb. He stays red hot. Yesterday he gets the start and doesn't do well. And there's questions about, is he just a guy who comes in and he has success as a pinch hitter? No. How about a 2-for-4 performance with that home run there? He had an RBI, 2 runs for him. He's now hitting 444 with a 1.434 OPS. Absolutely unbelievable. So yes, does O'Hoppe certainly deserve credit with 2 more hits and another home run? Absolutely. Does Soler deserve credit with his solo home run? Absolutely. I mean, this whole Angels lineup, just about everyone except for Joe Adell and Nolan Schanuel, everyone else had a hit. So a big, well-rounded performance for sure. But Kyren Paris, he has 2 hits. He stays, resilient in terms of, there's been a lot of talk about him playing and not playing and all the pressure and everything, but he just absolutely crushed it. And boy, oh boy, is there a buzz around this team. I think there is starting to be a buzz around this team. The other nice thing about this one is there was some smart Angels play in terms of productive outs in the 7th inning with the sac fly that we talked about with Rengifo, and then the sac fly with Jorge Soler. You got gifts in that inning, but you also had some productive outs, something that, boy, oh boy, this Angels team could not do last year. So no one's asking this team to load the bases every inning and then have a bases clearing double every inning. No. But when a guy does get on third base with less than 2 outs, you got to have a sac fly, right? You got to have a productive out when there is an error on the previous at bat. And then to be a good team, not just an average team or a slightly below average team, but what right now is making the Angels, dare I say, an actually good team, is that they are adding the big fly, obviously, with another 3 home runs today. So absolutely love what we are seeing. And we haven't even talked about the pitching yet. We will do that after our first break because, Tyler Anderson was solid, but the bullpen was dang near flawless. We will talk about the pitching success, and we will look forward to a huge upcoming road trip, which is really going to teach us a lot about the Angels. And then again, answer our question of the show, which is, can we actually say the Angels are a good, above average, dare I say, playoff baseball team? Yes. I never thought I'd be saying that this early into the season, but we'll talk about that question. We'll talk about the pitching and a whole lot more after our break here on the Locked On Angels Postcast. Now, today's show is brought to you by Just Ingredients. When it comes to fueling your body, quality matters. That's why Just Ingredients is changing the game with clean, high-quality products designed to support better health and peak performance. Just Ingredients offers an NSF-certified line of protein powder, electrolytes, pre-workout, and creatine, all rigorously tested to ensure they're free from substances banned by major athletic organizations. Just Ingredients has also partnered with two-time MVP Bryce Harper, who trusts their NSF-certified sports line to fuel his training and recovery. I love Just Ingredients, all the things that were just mentioned there: protein powder, electrolytes, pre-workout, and creatine. You can ask about anyone I know. Those are about 90% of my diet right there. So absolutely love that. When I'm consuming that stuff from Just Ingredients, I know it's going to be high quality. And whether it's before a workout, after a workout, or just, at work or anything like that, it's always nice to have their protein powder, so convenient, and the creatine, especially after every single workout. So visit justingredients.us and use code LOCKEDONMLB for 20% off. And for more wellness tips, follow at just.ingredients on Instagram. Today's show is also brought to you by Gametime. There's nothing better than catching an MLB game live. Amen. The crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, and the smell of ballpark food. And if you're looking to go last minute, Gametime makes getting tickets easier than ever. With last-minute deals, all-in pricing, and a lowest price guarantee, Gametime takes the stress out of buying MLB tickets. Plus, ticket prices drop as game time gets closer, meaning you can score an incredible deal. The example I always give is last summer I was in New York, and in a matter of 4 days, I went to a New York Liberty game and a New York Yankees game, both times on the subway on the way to the venue. I didn't even have a ticket until just about right before tip-off or first pitch. With Gametime, I was able to see the view from my seat to make sure I knew what view I was getting for my price. And the Gametime Picks feature I love. It makes finding the best deals effortless. It filters out the fluff and highlights the top discounts. There's no need to show you the tickets that are going to be $200 that should be $40. They get rid of those and they only show you the good deals so you don't waste any time. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. Back here live in another victory edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast. Angels 6, Guardians 2. The Angels pick up another series win, 3-for-3, beating the White Sox, the Cardinals, and the Guardians. And now they've got a big-time road trip, 9-game road trip ahead, which is certainly going to test this team. We're going to learn a lot about this team, and I think it's the right time to have a trip like this because obviously a 6-3 start feels great. But if you're able to, survive this road trip with at least an above average, a positive win-loss record after this road trip, then it's not too early at that point to say this is a real team, and not just a young team that's hot right now. They're doing it in every aspect. We already talked about some luck in terms of errors and, hit by pitches. We talked about some productive outs with the sac flies. Obviously, O'Hoppe making history with 4 straight games with a homer. We talked about that. Soler and our boy Kyren Parrish. But let's talk about the pitching in this one because Tyler Anderson, it was a mixed performance from him. Another game where the final stat score or stat line in terms of runs allowed is very solid. Just 2 earned runs allowed in 5 innings. You see something like 4 walks though, and you go, oh Jesus! But then you see something like 1 hit in 5 innings, that solo home run, and you think, hey, it's good enough, right? Not really what I want to see from Tyler Anderson. I would like to see him be more of a weak contact guy. The same thing we say with Jack Ohanowitz, and I guess we had that right with him only giving up 1 hit, but at the end of the day, he also had 4 walks, which you don't want to see. So we'll take it. Not really a recipe that's going to lead to consistent success when you have 4 walks in a ball game, but it was good enough. And it was made all that much better when the bullpen did what the heck it did in this one. How big was it to see Zephyr John bounce back? Obviously was hurt just a couple days ago. He comes back and gives up just 1 hit and then 3 strikeouts in his 1 inning in the 6th. Burke pitches 2/3 of an inning, gives up 1 hit, but really not stressful when he was on the mound. And then Ben Joyce with one of the bigger at-bats of the game coming in with the game-tying guy up to bat in Jose Ramirez. We know what he has done in this series. And Ben Joyce comes in and he gets the job done. He kind of left a pitch over the plate, honestly, but he's able to get Ramirez out, able to dodge any sort of game-tying home run or any nonsense with an extra base hit, and we're able to go into the bottom of the 8th inning, where then Kyren Paris then put this one away. And then Kenley Jansen, I mean, how about this for a start as an Angel? Still hasn't given up a run. Absolutely perfect here. 1-2-3 inning with the strikeout. And again, just like yesterday, I mean, yesterday it's because it was 10-4. Today, only a 3-run and 4-run lead throughout the later innings of this game, but absolutely no stress. No stress at all. How nice is that to just know that your bullpen can come in, you can take a deep breath, you have a nice lead, and there's no fear at all at it going away. So again, this was a really complete win. And I know 6-2 makes it seem like a close game, and it was a close game, but this is the type of win that you like the most. 10-4 is great, but you know there's not going to be games where you're hitting 4 home runs in every game and putting up a 10 spot. For you to have a game like this where everything went right. Starter pitched well, the bullpen was flawless, you had productive outs, you had some luck, and you had the 3 big flies, really everything you could ask for. And that's why the vibes are high. That's why it's time, like I was saying, to start saying, this is actually a good baseball team. Dare I say it, right? There's still a guy in Zach Neto who's not even back yet. So imagine when you take this lineup, and again, Ron Washington deserves some credit. He's been moving the lineup around. I think he might find the winning recipe with Taylor Ward, Rengifo, Trout, Soler, O'Hoppe, the 1 through 5. They have been absolutely phenomenal the past few games since he made that the top 5 in the lineup. Rengifo goes 1 for 3 again. Ward 1 for 4. Trout 1 for 3. Soler 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs. And O'Hoppe 2 for 4 with the home run. So yes, absolutely. Vibes are amazing. We still got people in here who are kind of new to the show. And shout out to everybody in here who's teaching them how it works. Yes, John and Mike are the Super Halo Bros. Oh, I see. They're calling me Toad. Okay. John and Mike are the Super Halo Bros, and Gavin is Toad. I mean, if you knew me in real life, you'd know I'm not the tallest. So Toad is absolutely perfect. I'm not going to lie. I'll take it. How does he talk? I'm not going to do that. But yeah, shout out to Steve there. I love that. That's hilarious. Got to give some credit. Yep. As Mike Mihako says here, Tim Anderson deserves some credit. We were very critical of him. He's obviously hitting in the 9 hole, but he goes 1 for 4. He has another RBI today. He's had some RBIs recently, and in the 9 spot, certainly doing more than Kevin Newman, who is probably the most useless guy on the roster right now. So obviously, when Neto comes back, there is not a hole in this lineup. You can just perfectly replace Anderson with Neto, obviously shuffle things up and have Neto hitting a lot higher than 9th. But boy, this lineup is looking dangerous. Moncada still has to come back, and we still haven't seen the best of Mike Trout. He's 1 for 3 today with a walk, but he's still hitting 188. So just imagine when Mike Trout's hitting 250, when Zach Neto's hitting 270, 280 throughout the season. Well, Hoppe is suddenly right back to being the elite guy we saw at the beginning of last season, and our boy Kyren Paris is the X factor. So huge win. We're going to quickly check the comment section one more time. Gilbert says, I think the reason we're doing good this year is because of Gavin leading the postcast. Well, I was doing it last year and certainly was not good. So I don't know, but maybe you switching to this channel was the last bit of luck we needed. Shout out to all the friendly comments here. Matthew saying he appreciates the show. Love it. Antonius says, Gavin is the man. We love Gavin. I appreciate all the support, guys. I really, really do. Dave T says, oh, wait, no, not that one. I was looking at a different one. Someone was saying, yeah, Yolando said, thanks for giving Wash his flowers. I mean, we have to balance it, right? We are going to be critical of some of the decisions he's made in terms of Kyren Paris and some of the in-game pitching changes, but I really think we have found a lineup that works right now with this one. I think he's been managing the bullpen pretty darn well. We forget that when you start the season with like games like those Cardinals games where you're using just about every reliever, back-to-back games, 10th inning, 11th inning, when you've got, Ryan Johnson on paternity leave, Zephyr John gets hurt, some uncertainty about Burke and how he's going to do, Ian Anderson, right? And he's really ended up managing this bullpen quite well the last few games, despite the lack of arms that are maybe available. Now, this is what's right. Vicky says we drop Suarez and go 6-3. Coincidence? I think not. That's absolutely right. Absolutely right. Suarez gone, and that's why we are cooking. But shout out to Kobe here. He says, just got home from the game and tuned in the moment I parked. I love it. Newbie says, Gavin, I will be in town the 24th, and I'll be at the game. If you come to the game, I'll buy you your first beer. I already like your content. Hey, maybe I have to do that. I haven't been to a game in a while since I started doing the show, just because I live in West LA, and driving all the way to the Big A and somehow getting back in time to do this show at a reasonable time would not be possible. But who knows? Maybe I can plan a night to maybe stay at a friend's house in Orange County or something for the night, do the show there after the game. Maybe we have to do that. But shout out to everybody in here. Love the support. And boy, oh boy, do I love the way the Angels are playing right now. 6-2, 6-3 on the season. And once again, the bullpen pretty well rested. Joyce just goes an inning in a third. Kenley Jansen, an easy inning. And we're going to need it because the upcoming schedule is not easy in the sense that a lot of travel. We only get 3 games at the Big A, and we immediately have to go back on the road. So we get tomorrow off. Thank goodness, a travel day. And then we've got 3 against the Rays, not in Tampa Bay. We all know the stadium stuff going on there, but 3 against the Rays, 3 against the Astros, a day off on Monday again, and then 3 in Texas before we host the San Francisco Giants. So what would be an ideal road trip? I think if you just go 5-4, I'm not going to start saying this team needs to start going 6-3, 7-2 in every 9-game set. But if you can just go, 5-4, we will take that, right? I think you would absolutely say if the Angels are 11-7 through 18 games, 15 of them being on the road to start the season, you absolutely would take that. And as of now, I'm starting to believe that this is not just an average team or a below average team that happens to be hot. I think this is a team that might actually be good. And if we go 5-4 or better in these next 9 games, I think it's officially safe to say this is a good baseball team for the Angels in 2025. And boy, how nice would that be? But with all that being said, we're going to wrap this one up. Again, the player of the game is still Kyren Paris, but the player of the series and the player of the moment right now, it is Logan O'Hoppe. 4 straight games with a home run for him. Another 3 home runs for the Angels tonight. So layer back-to-back games. O'Hoppe 4 games in a row. Kyren Paris stays hot. And boy, this team is exciting as well. So shout out to everybody in here. Leave a like as always. Leave a comment. And we are going to join you Tuesday evening, 4 p.m. first pitch. So expect me to be live, the second this game ends on Tuesday around, 6:45, 7 p.m., something like that. I know you guys will be here because you guys have been absolutely killing it in terms of consistency, whether I'm 20 minutes late racing home from a Clippers game or 5 minutes after the game or, whatever. You guys, whether the laptop was working or not like 2 days ago, you guys have been consistent. So appreciate you guys so much, everybody in here. And we'll see you Tuesday evening, hopefully after another Angels win. Take care. And I don't even have to say it because I know after this series, you're going to do it. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Take care.